Gravity is so deeply woven into your existence that you rarely notice it. You don't think about it when you stand up, when you pour a glass of water, or when you breathe. It is always there, silent and absolute, shaping every movement you make. But imagine waking up one ordinary morning and sensing that something is fundamentally wrong. Not because the world looks different, but because it feels wrong. Your body feels lighter. The floor feels unreliable. Objects around you hesitate, as if unsure whether they still belong where they are. For a brief moment, your mind searches for an explanation: dizziness, fatigue, a strange dream. But this isn't confusion. This is reality breaking its oldest rule. Gravity is gone, not weakened, not disrupted, completely gone. Today on Wikivedia Plus, we will explore what would happen if gravity disappeared. Let's dive in. For the first fraction of a second, nothing dramatic happens. There is no violent upward force, no sudden launch into the sky. You simply stop being held down. Your feet lose their claim to the ground. People begin to drift. A coffee cup lifts from a table. A parked car rocks slightly as its weight vanishes. Everything that once relied on gravity to stay in place is suddenly free. Panic spreads almost instantly. Humans have no instinct for floating. Your inner ear, evolved for gravity-bound motion, loses its reference point. Balance becomes meaningless. Even before disaster strikes, confusion alone incapacitates millions. But the true catastrophe doesn't come from floating upward. It comes from the fact that Earth is still moving. Our planet rotates once every 24 hours. At the equator, the surface moves at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. Gravity is the invisible force that keeps you moving along with it. Without gravity, the ground no longer pulls you into that motion. The planet slides away beneath you, and everything not rigidly anchored is flung sideways at terrifying speed. People, vehicles, debris, and fragments of buildings are hurled eastward. Skyscrapers, designed to support immense downward loads, are suddenly asked to resist forces they were never built for. They twist, they tear. Entire city blocks collapse in seconds. Bridges snap apart. Roads fracture and peel away from the ground. Survival in this phase is measured not in minutes, but in heartbeats. Almost immediately, another invisible lifeline begins to fail. The atmosphere. Gravity is what keeps Earth's air close to the surface. Oxygen, nitrogen, and every molecule you rely on to breathe are bound here by gravity alone. Without it, the atmosphere begins to drift upward. Not explosively, but relentlessly, air pressure drops second by second. Breathing becomes labored, then impossible. Lungs struggle as oxygen molecules simply leave. The sky doesn't instantly turn black, but it thins with terrifying speed. Sound fades, wind ceases. The last breathable air escapes into space, carrying clouds, weather systems, and storms with it. Then the oceans respond. Water clings to Earth because gravity tells it to. Remove that instruction, and the seas lift away from the planet. Entire oceans rise, forming colossal floating spheres of water that shimmer briefly in sunlight before expanding, freezing, and breaking apart. Rivers unravel into drifting streams. Lakes detach from their basins, rain never falls again. Earth is stripped bare not over geological time, but over minutes. Below the surface, a slower, but equally fatal process unfolds. Gravity is responsible for compressing Earth's interior. It keeps the core dense and hot, driving volcanic activity, plate tectonics, and the molten iron dynamo that generates Earth's magnetic field. Without gravity, that compression begins to fail. The core decompresses, heat dissipates, the magnetic field weakens and collapses. Even if life could somehow survive the loss of air and water, it would now be exposed directly to cosmic radiation, solar winds, and high-energy particles from deep space, Earth doesn't explode. It unravels. Mountains lose their weight and fracture. The planet slowly loses its spherical shape, its internal coherence, its geological identity. Above the surface, the moon drifts away. For billions of years, gravity locked Earth and the moon into a cosmic dance. Remove that bond, and the moon travels onward in a straight line, vanishing silently into the dark, tide seas. The subtle stabilizing effect the moon had on Earth's rotation disappears, but by now, such details no longer matter, because Earth's greatest loss is yet to come. Gravity is what keeps our planet in orbit around the sun. Without it, Earth does not slow down or stop. It continues moving at nearly 30 kilometers per second, the speed it had while orbiting. In an instant, Earth becomes a rogue planet, launched into interstellar space. There is no gradual escape, no graceful departure. The sun recedes rapidly behind us as Earth races into the frozen darkness between stars. Temperatures plummet. Whatever fragments of atmosphere or water remain free solid, the last traces of sunlight fade. Earth becomes a drifting tomb, carrying the frozen remains of a world that once lived. But even this is not the end of the chain reaction. The sun itself is held together by gravity. Every second, immense gravitational pressure compresses hydrogen in its core, allowing nuclear fusion to occur. Fusion releases energy. Energy produces light. Light makes life possible. Remove gravity, and fusion stops instantly. The sun does not gently go dark. Without gravity to contain it, the hot plasma that makes up the sun flies outward. Its outer layers expand violently into space. The core disperses, light disappears. Every star in the universe suffers the same fate. Across the cosmos, stars blink out, galaxies lose their glow. The night sky, once filled with light from billions of suns, goes dark. Galaxies themselves cannot survive without gravity. Their spiral arms unravel, star systems lose cohesion. Clouds of gas and dust disperse into endless emptiness. Orbits cease to exist, motion becomes linear. Everything moves forever in straight lines, never circling, never gathering, never forming anything new. The universe becomes a vast, cold fog of particles drifting silently through infinite space. No stars, no planets, no structure, no future. Gravity was not just one force among many. It was the force that made complexity possible. It allowed matter to gather, stars to ignite, planets to form, chemistry to unfold, and life to emerge. Without it, the universe is not violent, it is empty. And what makes this scenario truly terrifying is not how dramatic it sounds, but how fast it happens. From the moment gravity disappears, the fate of everything is sealed in seconds. There is no warning, no adaptation, no survival strategy. When everything is stripped away, one truth becomes impossible to escape. Gravity was never optional. It was the silent agreement that allowed reality to hold together at all. Without it, existence collapses into randomness. So ask yourself this: if one invisible force can shape the destiny of planets, stars, and galaxies, what other unseen forces are shaping your life right now, without you ever noticing? If this journey changed the way you see the universe, subscribe to Wikivedia Plus, share your thoughts in the comments, and tell us which what-if scenario you want us to explore next. The universe still holds many secrets, and this was only one of them.